This video is sponsored by Phoenix Pharos cards. If you need supplies of singles or splits for Cardfight Vanguard, especially the ones in the video, do check out Phoenix Pharos cards today, and as a bonus, use the promo code METANERD to get an amazing 5% discount. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the MetaNerd channel. I am Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Willdress. In this video, we'll be going through the Prism encounter Rideline for the Lyrical set. This is going to be the second encounter Rideline that Lyrical will have in this one booster set. There's not a lot of cards that is supporting Prism, but I think the support card that was introduced within this booster set for Prism is sufficient for the deck to actually function, and it's actually one of the more powerful deck that Lyrical Monasterio can have at the moment, because just imagine you are able to have 3 attacks on turn 3 with a critical Vanguard, depends on if you go first or second, is really disgusting. Of course, it's not going to be as broken as some of the other deck that we currently have. It is only the first wave of Prism support, but this Rideline is possibly going to just get better and better in the long run. Without further ado, let's take a look at what Prism brings to the table, or in this case, bring to the stage. First off, of course, is going to be the Rideline Diva of Threnody, Mariette. Although when this unit is throwed upon by Diva of Greeting Gloom, Roselita, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Prism in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, you may call this card to Regal Circle. If you call a card, soul charge 1. So this is basically like a top 7 Prism card searcher, which is quite nice. At the moment, we have around 3 targets to actually search from the top 7. If of course you do not get any Prism card from the top 7, she's able to call herself from the soul, and she doesn't really reduce the soul count because she does soul charge another 1 card if of course you do call her out to the Regal Circle. Top 7 isn't exactly the most consistent number in terms of, you know, consistency searcher of a specific cards, and you could only get like 1 card with Prism and a card name is a little bit on the mass side, I would say. And with only 3 Prism targets for this whole deck, it's not going to be as consistent as one might think. Although of course you are still have a high chance because it is top 7, it's better than top 5. It is still highly brickable, I would say. That's the great one. Nothing really much to talk about here because she's really straightforward. Next is the grade 2 Diva of Greeting Groom Roselita. Although when this unit is rolled upon by a unit with Labrador in its card name, choose up to 1 unit card with Prism in its card name from your hand and call it to Regal Circle. If you call a card, draw a card. This is basically just like free calling 1 Prism from the hand to draw is just really nice. And keep in mind here is that this is only restricted to you calling Prism card from the hand. Only then you're able to draw a card is in some sense going to break, because if of course you do not get a Prism card from the grade 1 Rideline searcher, it's highly likely that you will also break this card. It is a very high risk of you breaking this skill, but of course if you don't break the skill, you will be getting a Prism card onto the Regal and you do get the draw 1. And since the main strategy is to return your Regals to hand, it's actually not that bad. And once we go into the main Vanguard, which is Labrador, this skill actually does provide a lot of value in terms of the whole Rideline. Not too bad of a grade 2 card, but once again, the grade 1 as well as this grade 2 has a risk of breaking. Hopefully you don't get into that situation. Next of course is the main Vanguard herself, ISM-Promise Labrador. Active Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your Regals, return it to hand, and this unit gets 5k power until the end of turn. Second skill, Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attack, cost, Counter Blast 1, choose up to 2 unit cards with Prism in their card names from your hand and call them to open Regal Circle. If you call a card, draw a card. If your opponent Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, until the end of turn, all of your front row gets 5k power and this unit gets critical +1. This card basically allows you to reuse any on-play skill for a mere Soul Blast. Cost is just really nice, and not to mention the power bonus. If you combo this with the grade 2 Rideline skill, you will basically just call 1 card out from the grade 2 skill and then you just return that particular card from Labrador skill. What you will get is you basically get 1 card for free, as well as give Labrador the 5k power. Is just really nice. It does cost you 1 soul, but then again, a Soul Blast for this amount of value is just super good. And of course, Prism do have support cards that basically have their skill activated when they are returned to hand by a skill. Not too bad. The deck is able to attack up to 5 times, but it will be using quite a bit of soul because of the grade 2 Prism that does use 1 soul and then she just returns to the hand. Keep in mind here is that this card can only superior call onto an open Regal Circle. Giving the 5k power when your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater is just a very nice bonus. Keep in mind here is that the 5 attack doesn't need to see if the opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. Only then she's able to superior call. You are able to just pile on the aggression like really early on, starting from turn 3. And if of course you're going second, the 5k makes a huge difference in terms of hitting numbers, because at the moment the attacks that this deck dishes out is actually on the lower side. I would say 1 damage trigger from the opponent could potentially shut down your 5 attack. Of course, Labrador herself will be attacking at 23k to 33k if your personal right is not that bad. Of course, this is only the Vanguard. We will need to see the other 2 Prism unit, which is the grade 2 and a grade 1 for Prism, to have a better understanding on how the deck actually functions, as how the deck wants to kill the opponent. First and foremost is going to be ISM-Promise Celtic. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle from hand or put on Guardian Circle from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Labrador in this card name, this unit gets 5k power and 5k shield until the end of turn. Second skill, Auto Rigor Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attack, if you have a Vanguard with Labrador in this card name, cost Soul Blast 1, return this unit to hand, choose up to one of your rear guards with Prism in its card name and return it to hand. So Celtic here for sure is going to be the main attacker as well as your combo initiator. Once again, Labrador can only superior call from the hand to an open rear guard circle. She is like one of your cards that actually return rear guards to hand before you even superior call with Labrador's skill. On top of just being a combo initiator, she is a decent attacker with her being at 15k attacker as well as a 10k shield whenever of course you are on Labrador, which is quite decent. Even without personal riding, I think it's still quite okay considering that you are attacking a grade 2 if you go first. Do keep in mind here is that you actually do not gain the 5k shield bonus when you are intercepting, which is kind of a bummer because you are actually inclined to play that Soul Blast in order to return her to the hand. She's just going to be a 5k shield when she intercepts. So most of the time you will want to return her to the hand alongside the grade 1 that we're going to talk about later in order to get the maximum shield bonus from their skill. However, once again, considering that you will be using at the minimum 2 souls in order to return herself as well as another Prism rearguards to the hand, this deck will have a decently high soul usage. Just keep in mind that you will be using at least 2 souls per turn. Next is the grade 1 ISM-Promise Leyte. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle from hand or put on Guardian Circle from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Labrador in its card name, this unit get 5k power as well as 5k shield until the end of turn. Second skill, although when this unit returns to hand from Rigor Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Labrador in its card name, you may soul charge 1, then if you did not counter charge this turn, counter charge 1. So this card has like a similar power as well as shield bonus as Celtic, the grade 2. The only difference is basically one is a grade 1 and one is a grade 2, but in terms of power as well as shield value, they are almost the same. This card will be the main target to be returned to hand by Labrador or Celtic. She's able to basically help with the soul resources as well as counter charge, although counter charge is only once per turn, because the moment you use Leyte's skill to counter charge the first time, the next time you actually return Leyte to the hand, you will not be able to counter charge. The soul charge here is actually optional. You don't necessarily want to keep on randomly soul charge. You will only want to soul charge if necessary in order to activate certain skills, for example Celtic, because as we all know, random soul charging isn't really great. Don't soul charge every time you return this card to hand. It's not going to be worth it. But at the same time, of course, if you do have other skills that requires you to have a lot of soul, then go ahead and soul charge. Just that the counter charge is basically once per turn. That's all. For the support cards surrounding Prism, first off we have Chilling Tonight Nebirona. Auto Rigor Circle. When your unit with Prism in its card name placed on another Rigor Circle in the same column as this unit, that place unit gets 5k power until the end of turn. This is basically just like a more power bonus for any Prism unit that was called to the same column as this unit, which means that either Celtic or Leyte will be at 20k to 18k attack, which is quite nice. However, of course, she is only restricted to that 2 Prison unit at the moment, because at the moment we only have like 3 Prison unit including the Vanguard. This card of course will still be able to provide the 5k bonus even if this unit is, you know, boosted on the first attack. So just keep that in mind. Since this skill is auto, it automatically triggers whenever another Prison rearguard is superior called in the same column as this unit. Very, very nice skill. Next we have Rattling Good Time Flami. Although when this unit is returned to hand from Rigor Circle during your main phase, cost Counter Blast 1, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguard and it gets 5k power until the end of turn. It's a pretty straightforward unit and another viable target to return to hand from Labrador's skill, as you are able to Counter Blast 1 to draw a card as well as give a small power boost to Labrador herself, which is quite nice. For a mere cost of Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1 from Labrador's skill, you are able to draw 1 and have a 23k Vanguard attack, and this is without taking into the fact that Labrador further gives herself and the front row 5k as well as the critical. Very, very disgusting. This card does cost you 1 Counter Blast in order to activate, and this card might just be like the main deciding factor of if of course you want to draw more cards and give a 5k, or or you want the counter charge from Leyte to refund to basically use for other counter blasting skills. But for Labrador skill, I think most likely you will want to return this card. But at the same time, this is a lot of grade 2s which you can't really take advantage of because, you know, grade 2 can't exactly boost. If this is only just a rare, we can't really expect it to do like a very disgusting grade 2. But alas, a quality support nonetheless. Last but not least is Diva of Waterheart Petronille. Although when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, cost Counterblast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Prism in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. If you do not reveal a card, you may soul charge 2. Second skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle this unit attack, if you have a Vanguard with Labrador in its card name, you may return this unit to hand. So this card is basically more consistency support to search out more Prism cards. Luckily for Prism, the Rideline isn't the only skill that allows the whole deck to search out more Prism units. You do have this card here that basically do just that as well. Of course, once again, the top 7 isn't going to be the most consistent, but it is very nice that you have a rearguard that basically could just reuse over and over again. Keep in mind here is that you don't necessarily have to search out a Prism card if, of course, you are kind of low in terms of your soul and you do need the soul blast for your combo turn. You don't necessarily have to search out a Prism card in order to get the soul charge, so keep that in mind. The second skill basically just returns herself back to hand in order to open up the Rearguard Circle for Labrador for multi-attack. This card does not really cost anything in order to return herself, which is quite nice, as opposed to Celtic costing 1 soul in order to return herself as well as another Prism unit. But this card can be like a last line of return to hand in order for Labrador to basically multi-attack. Not a bad card, I would say. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section of what do you think of the whole Prism return. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course ring the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.